kicking up dust on a rick house floor. Charred oak whispers we can't ignore. Stories in the mash, fire in the grain. Raise up your glass, feel that bourbon flame. We're the Bourbon Legends, let the spirit flow. From the backwoods stills to tonight's big show. Every drop a story, every sip that's drowned. We're Bourbon Legends, let's throw it down. Let's throw it down. From Kentucky hills to the neon lights, we're talking small batch days and whiskey nights. Tasting the past in every pour. Gonna carve our names on the distiller's door. We're the Bourbon Legends, let the spirit flow. From the backwoods stills to tonight's big show. Every drop a story, every sip that's drowned. We're Bourbon Legends, let's throw it down. Let's throw it down. Raise 'em high, feel the fire. Clinking glasses, lifting higher. One more toast to the ones before, and the legends we're making forevermore. We're the Bourbon Legends, let the spirit flow. From the rick house walls to your front row. Every drop a story, every sip a crown. We're Bourbon Legends, come gather round. Come gather round. Come gather round.
Hey, everybody. It's the Bourbon Center here, Craig and Bowden. I hope you guys are having a terrific latter part of the week. I hope the weather's good where you are. I hope if it's snowing, you like it. And I hope if it's hot, you like that too. Around here, it's a nice 75 degrees. I see why people live in California. Not for the politics, but for the weather. Anyway, it is Thursday night. We have a good show lined up for you. We have some surprises. We have some trivia. We have some news. We have special guests. And one of our special guests right now is the one and only damn Yankee living in the South now, Mr. Roger Randall. Hey, what's going on, Roger?
Oh, just over here keeping cool from this heat, man. It's been a little bit, a little bit warm today.
Complained when it was 30 degrees outside. Complain when it's 75 or 80.
Yeah, well, I had to turn the heat. I had to turn the air conditioner on. Product placement, right?
I will tell you this right now. Personally, I will not turn the air conditioner on until it gets really, really bad. And it wasn't bad, but my son, I heard it when I got home. It was running outside, and I don't know what these kids nowadays are all made of, but they're not made tough like they used to be. Isn't that right, Mr. Will?
That's right. I think our air conditioner got turned on before the snow melted.
Seriously?
I mean, probably, it could have. I tell you what, though, guys, I am excited to see y'all. I'm happy to see y'all tonight. And I really think my bottle of Maker's Mark Lost Recipes really happy to see y'all, too. I'm not sure that.
Got an
it looks
excited
like
bottle,
it's
not a
maybe
drunk bottle.
more excited to see y'all than I am, even. So,
Are you happy to see me, or is that some hot wax in your pants?
I mean, it could be either one. So,
Let's get some business out of the way, okay? First of all,
let's go.
First of all, drink when you hear the word
Pennsylvania. Oh, wait, Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. Okay, so that's the first thing.
Got that out of the way.
The second thing is, do we have anything to give away tonight? Do we want to give away anything? This is show prep. We do show prep in the first 10 minutes of the show.
Yeah,
Show prep. What's that?
Yeah, right.
What's
I
that?
can give away
I have an empty bottle.
Empty bottle.
Wait,
You know what? I bet you somebody would actually put out for that empty bottle. They would want to get into that.
Okay, let me check my subscriber status.
Uh-oh.
So let me check.
You know what? I'll give away another round of these Weller coasters. How about that?
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
I need 49 more subscribers to make it to 100 before
Come on,
10,
folks.
before tomorrow.
And he's going to give away a bottle of our pick.
Yeah.
Our Old Glory
It
pick.
looks like it's going to happen though, because I mean, 49 away, got one more day.
But did you set the day to be today
Well, I set the
or
day
tomorrow?
to
Because actually, the pick is the next Friday for the.
Oh well, then I've
If you
got a whole nother week
extend
then, so
yourself.
we're all good.
Yeah, you
the
got a
whole
week.
week. You folks get out there and subscribe to Will's. It's Chill Will Rocco. And if you're expecting content,
don't.
No.
Just don't.
No.
It's
But
not
if
gonna
you're
happen.
there to have fun and want to just help him get to 100, because at 100 he gets to do something. Oh, at 50, you got to go what?
Oh, I could live stream right now.
He could live stream right now, which is dangerous.
I mean, I think I may just start turning my camera on and just leave it on and let people swing in and see what my bottles are doing behind me.
Speaking of bottles, guys, I know this might be old news to a lot of people, but it's one of these near and dear to my hearts. Is King of Kentucky's coming out with a cheaper version, right?
Yeah. What's it going to be? What, $300 versus $800?
Well, I mean, probably closer to $1,000 if you are lucky enough to get one. But this one is a lot different than most King of Kentucky's. Number one, this is not a single barrel. This is a small batch. And it doesn't really, nobody really knows how many is in this small batch. It could be 3 barrels or it could be 300. Who knows? But kind of looking forward to it. If I could find one for 300, I'd buy it. What about you guys? What do you think?
I just looked online, and somebody has it for $1,200. So we could get it for $1,200, or I could buy a WLW for $600 if I can get to Jackson, Mississippi in the next day or so.
Well, is there one over in Jackson hanging around?
Yeah, I'm in Jackson. Yeah.
Well, it'd be kind of cool because it's the semi-quincentennial tribute release.
Yeah, 250 years of the United States of
that
America.
Would be pretty cool. Yeah.
Okay,
Well, there's going to be more tie-ins to this semi-sesquicentennial. It's going to be pitiful.
Can you name a state with a letter P in it that's part of the original 13th colonies?
Pensacola?
That's a city. That's a city.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Pennsylvania.
There we go.
Moving right along, here's another bottle I would damn sure grab. It's a new Russell's 13 bottle that's coming out, 123 proof. What do you guys think about that pretty bottle?
Well, I think it's a Russell's product, so I'm going to like it. I would love to get my hands on a 13. Probably never will, but all the Russell's products that I've tried have been great, and I can't imagine this not being anything but great.
Yeah, 123.8 proof. That seems pretty high,
It is compared to a lot of the Russells that go out.
Yeah, the 110.
Usually they're like 110s, something like that. So this one's going to be much better, and as it says, this one's going to bring back that barrel forward punch.
I think Tom Black's excited about it.
I bet Mike
judging
Brock
from
would
his
be
comment.
excited about it, but I'll guarantee you one thing: Mike Brock ain't going to get it if I get one. If I get this bottle, Mike Brock ain't drinking out of it. And another bottle that we all like, I believe. I don't know if Will. Do you like Peerless? For some reason, I think you're not a big Peerless guy.
I mean, I just haven't had a lot of it. You know, I don't currently own any Peerless. I've had a few samples and they were all pretty good. But
well, this one is going to be released in April, and it's the Henry Craver, honors the historic Peerless figure who helped build the brand back in the 1800s. But do you know anything? See anything strange about that bottle, that label?
It's cursive and at a slant.
No, it's the color of it.
Oh.
How are you going to know that's a rye whiskey on the shelf if you happen to see it, which we won't see it on the shelf?
Well, red is rye.
Yeah. Red rye,
okay.
red rye.
Red rye. See,
Yeah.
red rye. There we go. We're going to set a new trend. They're setting a new trend. They're trying to get rid of that old green label thing, and they're going with red. Red means go, or don't stop, just go faster. But again, the MSRP is still a little tight there, $199 to $249 on a 10-year limited release.
Yeah, well, that is Peerless, right? Peerless is
we'll have to go to the distillery to get it.
Not the cheapest in the world, but I tell you what, every Peerless I've had, I've enjoyed. So,
yep, I got a few back there.
Yeah. Speaking of rye whiskey, our guests tonight specialize in, I'm going to say rye. They may specialize in more than rye. We'll find out exactly, but I think we should go ahead and bring them on. What do you guys think?
I agree that they're pretty good, nice guys.
Yeah. From Iron City. I can never say iron.
Iron.
Iron. It's that being Southern thing, Roger.
Yeah.
From Iron City Distilling in the great state of Pennsylvania, we're going to bring on Matt Strickland. Hold on, where's Peter at? We're going to bring on Peter. How come it won't add Peter? There it goes. So we have Peter Katz.
Did you say Pennsylvania?
Yeah,
I did.
Pennsylvania.
Oh, I can already see we're going to get along good tonight with the guests. The guests like the word of the night for some reason.
I wonder why you picked that.
I wonder why. Last week's show we had on. Who did we have on last week, guys? Can you remember? Oh boy,
I think alcohol was involved, so I'm not sure who.
Yeah, well, whoever we had on, it was we put the word out there, and we didn't know it was going to be spoken that many times, and it was pretty wild. A lot of alcohol was consumed. But anyway, Peter, Matt, won't you introduce us to yourselves and tell us a little bit about you and what you guys have going on there in the beautiful state of Pennsylvania.
I'll let Pete go first then.
Well, I was born here in Pennsylvania.
This is how this is going to go.
It's going to be a long night.
I was in the restaurant business and got into wine and spirit distribution over 25 years ago. Was with Southern Glazers for 25 plus years, and had the opportunity to move over to Iron City Distilling. Going to be coming up on 2 years now. June will be 2 years, so I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. And excited to be there. Matt's our master distiller. He's an incredible leader, visionary. That has put together a plan for what we're doing, and it's world-class whiskey, but it's bringing back historical roots, but using modern techniques. And it's we are in the Rick House today, tasting some of this fine Pennsylvania rye.
This is gonna go good.
And I will say,
This is
it was delicious. I mean, it was so good. We're playing around with some blends, and yeah, it's delicious. Can't wait to share it. Like I said, that was before we started taping. We released a couple single barrels. We're waiting until it's ready and mature. So we're not trying to release things before it's time, but we have one little hot spot in the warehouse that's been producing some amazing barrels that we're ready to release. And our first release sold out in 14 minutes. We had a line out to the street. It was snowing. We ran everyone through and got it sold. And then we did 2 barrels later, like a month and a half later. And we did that all online just because the temperature was so cold. And we sold every bottle but 2 on Friday. And then by 7 a.m. the next morning, the other 2 were sold. So one day, basically, we sold out both barrels. So it's been a pretty exciting. We're excited for the reception that people given us. And at some point, we'll be sharing it in other markets. And we got connected from our friends at Red Barrel, which I want to throw a shout out to Alex for connecting us and appreciate
Alex.
that. Yeah. Hopefully he's watching, and he's part of the reason we're here connected here. So I'll turn it over to.
I can't remember. What were you guys doing out over in Indiana? Were y'all doing some...
Yeah, we went to Hard Truth and Huber's. We go and check out other distilleries and try and learn what they're doing, and also just talk to them and spread the word. And both of them were very receptive and great hosts, great whiskey. Actually, I'm drinking Hard Truth right now, single barrel. So I think that's the good part of our industry that's growing is producers like Hard Truth and Huber's and us, and it was great to visit those places and see what they're doing.
Cool. Matt, tell us a little bit about yourself, your history.
Yeah, no, I kind of came at whiskey a little bit differently. I sort of started out in the wine industry, and that's what I went to grad school for, was for wine science. And wine's a really seasonal kind of industry to be in. And you've got, we were just married and we were talking about having kids. It's not really conducive unless you're single pretty much, and you don't really have any attachments. So I graduated and was looking around for jobs and found I'm from Tennessee originally, and we were talking about moving back to Nashville, and I was offered a job heading up research and development for a distillery down there, and that just once I was in the distilling business, that was pretty much it. I really loved it, and I've been fortunate I do a lot of teaching and a lot of writing and consulting, and I've been able to work for distilleries and advise on distilleries on multiple continents, and it's been crazy. But I was actually running a distillery in Quebec a few years ago, and I got a call one day asking if I wanted to consult on a rye whiskey distillery in Pittsburgh. And I said, yeah, that sounds like fun.
What state is Pittsburgh in?
Oh, it's probably Pennsylvania.
It's a square check.
And Matt didn't say, but he was not born in Pennsylvania.
No, I wasn't.
He was born in Tennessee, which I followed on that one. Your name sounds familiar, and again, I told Craig, I said, I've heard your name spoken a few times amongst people, and before this, back a few years ago. So I think you've been around a little bit in different roles and things like that. Is there a particular thing that just drew you to come to Iron City? Is it just?
It was a really neat project. It was kind of funny because what had happened was I helped get the distillery designed and sort of set things in motion. And then I just thought that my job was done at that point. I mean, you know, as a consultant, you kind of come and go, and I thought that was just it. And then I got a call a few months later asking if I knew of anybody that would be interested. And I thought, well, yeah, sure. You know, I mean, it turns out Quebec is freaking cold. So I was like, yeah, it's time to move stateside again. And so the timing was perfect. And then when I got there, you know, after speaking with the owner, and I was speaking with the president of the brewery, our sister company is Pittsburgh Brewing Company, and he was sort of de facto my boss at the time. And I remember asking him what they wanted to do exactly. You know, he was like, we don't really know. We were kind of hoping you'd figure that out. And then I was like, well, what's the brand look like? What's the story, man, that you want to tell? We don't know that either. And so it was sort of, I think for a lot of distillers, it's sort of the dream gig until, you know, I've been through this enough that I was like, well, that's great, but that's a lot of work to get through. But no, it was fun. They just kind of let me, you know, chart the course and kind of do what I wanted. And I thought that the time was perfect to try and resurrect this old style of rye that really nobody else was doing. And here we are. You know, we're a few months away from launching it into the state stores. And, you know, as Pete said, I was just kind of dabbling with one of my team. You know, we were doing some test blends just today, kind of messing around. And, you know, I had this theory about a blend I wanted to try, and it was awesome, you know, so better than we thought it was going to be. So
I was just finished lunch, and Matt said, "Are you close by?" And I knew the excitement in his voice. I knew something was going to be good. And he said, "We're in the Rick House. You got to get over here." So I rushed over there, and
that kind of leads into my first question. So you talked a little bit about this rye that nobody's, you know, been doing for who knows how long. So are you doing like grain to glass? And can you walk through that production and what's different about what you do than everybody else? How is this rye special, you might say?
So what we're trying to do is we're trying to resurrect the sort of pre-prohibition Monongahela style of rye. And you'll hear people use that term. And there's a few modern examples, but we really wanted to kind of go back to flavor. I mean, Pete and I have both been really fortunate in the past few years to, Pete's actually wearing the hat, but we hang out occasionally with the guys from the Vintage Whiskey Society. And they will, you know, these guys are, you know, the extreme dusty collectors. They're finding stuff like pre-pro stuff in estate sales, and, you know, digging up bottles from the early 1900s, late 1800s. And a lot of that stuff comes from Pennsylvania. And so, you know, we've been able to taste really well cared for bottles of those whiskeys, and you know, from that era, and they were just, it was a really unique time for whiskey. I mean, we tend to think about, because Pennsylvania, you know, the distillers in Pennsylvania didn't fare so well after Prohibition, but throughout the 1800s, Pennsylvania and Maryland, to a slightly lesser extent, were probably the two most important whiskey states in the country, as far as producers. And then obviously Kentucky became, you know, this huge thing after Prohibition. But rye whiskey really was the first whiskey love affair, I think, that the United States had. And you know, so when I started talking with historians and I started looking through some of the old documents myself, I started seeing, you know, patterns arise. So, you know, a lot of the mash bills were kind of the same. They were using just a lot of them, the smaller guys, were using sort of localized grains. You start to kind of piece bits of the puzzle together. And, for instance, in Pennsylvania, there were no column stills. It was all pot or chamber stills. And they were using certain barrel sizes, and they were steam heating their warehouses continuously throughout the year, and just like low entry proofs, all this stuff. And, so it just became this long list of boxes that I wanted to check off. We had the pot. The owner amazingly agreed to doing what became the second chamber still installed in the United States. We go into the barrel at 101 proof, so very low. We steam heat our warehouses so they never get below 70 degrees throughout the year. They get well over 100 during the summer. And I even found a cooperage. Now, most of our barrels are your standard ASB 53s, but I did find a cooperage because the standard barrel size back then was around 35 to 42 gallons. And I found a cooperage that would custom make those barrels for us. So we have, special barrels lying around that, we're hoping in the next few years we'll start releasing sort of, this crazy concept I had.
So
that's
now I'm going off of, our questions that we had prepared. Since you just said that, I'm going to go down the rabbit hole. 35 to 42 gallon barrels. So are you saying that that's going to age your product faster? Or are you just doing this out of, tradition because you want to do everything like it was pre-prohibition? What's the thoughts on that, on the barrel size?
Well, so most of the barrels that we have are your standard 53 gallons, but we order, about 50 of these 40s once a year, just to lay down sort of what will be. And normally I've written a lot about barrels in the industry, and the thing that you're always, we're always telling people is that, small barrels can make really good whiskey if you know how to work with them. The one of the challenges though is that because you have this increased surface area on the inside of the barrel interacting with less whiskey, you get like this really crazy fast extraction. And so we always tell them, just be careful about that because you can quickly over oak the spirit. But these 40s, the way I think it is the way they're coopered. The cooperage we use for them is they're friends of ours and they do really great work. But they cooper these barrels very differently than our other cooperage that we get our larger barrels from. So these are actually maturing way slower than our large 53, which is kind of funny. But
what char level are you using in that, if you can say?
So we'll tell you anything, by the way. You can ask us anything. I mean, I'll tell you the yeast strain that we're using. I'll introduce you to the supplier if you want.
Hold on. Would the guy with his name might be Pat Heist?
Yeah, we use him for some things. Yeah. We use
someone up on the screen there might use him also, but I don't know.
Craig might know something.
Craig might know him as well.
I might know a few things about smaller barrels as well. So
but we'll tell you anything. But with the small barrels, with the smaller sizes, those are all char 4s. But our 53s, I do everything from a char 1 up to a char 4. And we actually have some experimentals where we've gone all the way to a char 9.
Wow.
Yeah. So we have a few 8s.
I was just wondering, since it was a smaller barrel, that maybe you were going with a less of a char that would slow the process down. Tell us a little bit about your rick houses as well. Do you palletize, or you actually have a rick house, or how does that go?
Yeah, so we have a rick house. It's an old brick line building, which is what the style of warehouse that was in Pennsylvania really up until the 70s. Shenley was still using these 42 gallon barrels up until the 70s before they shut down. But no, we use on our bottom floor. It's a 4-story warehouse. On our bottom floor, we kind of have standard bricks, and then we move to metal racks upstairs because it's easier to organize. But yeah, but the big thing for us is that we steam heat the warehouse. We're not the only warehouse that uses steam heat. Old Forester uses it. The difference is that we never turn it off. So they cycle theirs on and off. So it's, they try to get this, and they talk about the whiskey going in and out of the wood, which is not really what happens. It's a little more nuanced than that. But yeah, I mean, the fact that we never let it get below 70 and it gets really hot in there during the summer, we're seeing some just phenomenal maturation coming out of those barrels.
Okay, I got a timeout. I'm going to nerd out a little bit. So the whiskey doesn't go in and out of the wood. It's more nuanced. Would you elaborate on that, please?
So the whole idea, when you go on these tours, I do a lot of myth busting, and it drives me crazy. Some of the stuff that gets said, but that's definitely one that drives me a little nuts. So you fill up a barrel, you put it on a rack, the barrel's filled all the way to the brim, right? All the way up to the bung. You hammer the bung in, and it sits there. Well, immediately what starts happening is whiskey starts soaking into the wood. And that first year between evaporative loss and the whiskey that's just getting soaked into the wood, you might lose 8 to 10% in volume. Now, when the barrel gets warm during the summer, the pores will start to open up a little bit, and the whiskey could maybe go a little bit deeper. And then if they cool, it might kind of come out a little bit. But this idea of, pressure, like pushing the whiskey in and out of the wood because it gets hot, doesn't really work that way, because you've lost that. Just, remember that first year, you've lost about 10% in your volume. So when it gets really hot again the next summer, the whiskey just expands, but it just kind of pushes back up into the headspace a little bit. Like I said, you might get like a little bit of just the wood pores opening up some, but it's not this dramatic thing that they keep talking about. Yeah.
So over time, are you just losing it to evaporation? Does it just slowly work its way out?
Yeah, that's mostly it. There's been a couple companies that have popped up over the past 20 years, and all the big guys have looked at this too. Everybody's always trying to figure out how to limit the angel share. Personally, I kind of welcome it. I think it's actually a good thing. I understand why the big companies want to limit it, because you're losing alcohol. But at the same time, what's happening is you're getting rid of some of the younger flavors, some of the compounds that maybe you don't want in there. But you're also concentrating like all those wood sugars. The volume that you lose, you're getting like this increased concentration in whiskey lactones and wood sugars and color compounds and tannins and things like that. So the whiskey improves overall. Like I said, I mean, I know Diageo's looked at trying to cut the angel share and stuff like that, and they've never found a great solution. There's one company right now that thinks they've figured it out, but I personally, I mean, we lose because we never turn off the heat in our warehouse. It's looking like we're losing probably about 6% a year versus 4% in Kentucky. So we're losing a bit more, but the depth that we're getting in the even 2-year-old barrels is, it's been amazing.
Very interesting. Yeah, I can see how it would make perfect sense that would swell into the void that's left.
Yeah,
because that's kind of the path of least resistance, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just the whole story, like I said, that they tell, where it's just kind of like in and out. That's not really what's happening. Yeah. So,
very interesting.
Do you guys want to are you familiar with a 3-chamber still? You want to have Matt tell you a little bit more about three
Yeah,
chamber
I
still
don't.
and
We have no idea about a three.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
kind of what makes it so unique. And it is
Absolutely.
it is something that is native to Pennsylvania, I think.
You've been waiting for me to say that.
You said it like 6 times, so it worked
Did I?
out good.
Did you drink every single time? I didn't see it.
Now, my question is there who else you mentioned there was somebody else that might use a 3-chamber still? Do you mind saying who that?
No, I don't mind at all. So it's interesting. So a little bit of background is that these chamber stills, and I'll explain how they work in a second, but the chamber still was the predominant, that and pot stills were the predominant types of stills used in the mid-Atlantic region to make whiskey throughout the 1800s. We didn't really see column stills enter the region until after Prohibition. Now, the thing is that type of still, for reasons that'll become apparent pretty, as I explain, they're kind of like an accountant's nightmare because they're really expensive to run. They're really finicky. They're very labor intensive to run. They're not the most efficient. There's all these things kind of wrong with them. So they sort of fell out of favor after Prohibition and they kind of disappeared. You fast forward to 2015 and Todd Leopold at Leopold Brothers Distillery in Denver was doing a lot of research, and he kept stumbling across these weird references to Leopold or to chamber stills in some of the old literature. And so he reached out to Vendome Copper and Brass Works in Louisville and asked them, and they're like, yeah, we've heard of them. Our company even used to make them, but nobody alive has ever worked one. Like, we don't know how to build them anymore. So he worked with them to commission the first one, since I think the last one that was being used was at Penco here in Pennsylvania for back in like over 65 years ago. So there you go. I did that for you, Pete. So so he has this thing commissioned, and then he's using this chamber still, and then I reached out to Vendome back in 22, and I said, well, you guys are probably making a few of these. I mean, what would it take for us to get one? And they were like, we don't know. We only did the one. And I was like, really? And they said, yeah, we've given, people ask about them. And then as soon as they see the quote, they don't want to do it anymore. And they showed me the quote, and I was like, I can see why people don't want to do it. But our owner was pretty intrigued, so he went through with it. And we were the second chamber still to. We kind of said we were bringing the chamber still home.
Home to where, Matt?
Pennsylvania.
Hey. No more Jack Daniel's barrel proof old fashions for me.
There you go.
Peter caught on real quick, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I'm gonna be getting me some 80 proof stuff or something here in a minute.
Is this the one show where all the hosts kind of pass out before it ends?
No.
We haven't done that yet.
We're consummate professionals.
We've mastered the technique of faking.
Yeah.
There you go. So Todd got this chamber still up and going. We get ours, and there's and in the meantime, there was a 2-chamber still that got resurrected in Barbados to make rum. There was another 3-chamber that got installed in Oregon to make rum. So they started popping up, just not for whiskey. There is a third one that he may have it installed by now. I think they were waiting on the boiler, but at Neely Family Distillery in Sparta, Kentucky. And I haven't talked to Royce in a while, so I don't know exactly what the status is. But, they had these stills for a short term in Kentucky. There were a few distilleries, down south that wanted to see what everybody up north was so excited about. And they didn't, they were making bourbon and they didn't really like it for bourbon, so they didn't last that long. But Royce was really interested in it. So, anyway, the way these things work and why a few of us got so excited about them was that, you might have heard of stills, especially in like the gin industry. They'll get vacuum stills that work under negative pressure, and they'll reduce the pressure inside the still with a vacuum, and that lowers the boiling point, and you can like sort of get really low boiling points and pick up all these delicate aromas and stuff like that. There's Bacardi owns a gin in the UK called Oxley that they distill at -5 degrees Celsius, stuff like that. The chamber still works the exact opposite direction because they actually work under high pressure. And so all of a sudden the boiling points just go way up. And what ends up happening is it basically extracts all the oils out of the grain and pushes it into the heart of the distillate, so that you get this really just wild, like funky, lots of like floral notes, but also lots of like malty and chocolate notes that you cannot get in any other still. It just doesn't work. So we use both. We run the exact same recipe on the pot and the chamber. It's really neat. So we've been kind of tinkering around with blending the two together, and eventually we will release just only chamber still releases as well. But it's looking like our flagship is probably going to be a blend of the two.
Yeah, because we've had a lot of. We have one of the distilleries that we went with had one of the earliest Vendome copper stills. They had bought as a used still and put it into the facility. So we've seen all kinds of stills. I know the pressurization treatment you're talking about.
Yeah.
There's Nobleton's in Missouri. He plays with that, and he's had to do all kinds of different things to do with it. So that's the interesting part about the whole distilling process is there's a lot of different ways to do it. There's more than one way, as they said, to skin a cat. And it seems like it's because I'm about ready to. Sorry. Well, I got 2 new kittens in the house, and one of them's got to go. But I'll just leave it at that.
By any chance, did you adopt those kittens from Pennsylvania?
No. Adopted them from the North Little Rock Animal Shelter, and I appreciate it because we got a 2-for-1 deal, and I know why we did, because the second one's not as smart as the first one. You know how that goes. But and if the big thing about it was distilling, it really does depend on who the master distiller is and what you feel comfortable with and what you're able to work with, because we've had a variety of folks, and again, the common way has always been column still is probably the most dominant one we had with our group. But then we do some people that have both pot and column, and they do both. So again, it's unique to find out what you're using. I did go to your YouTube page, and will put it up again, guys. If you have a chance, go out of our fans out there and subscribe to their YouTube page. Let's get them over 50 subscribers, because I think they're right about 42 right now. And it does kind of show a little bit of the facilities and things like that, so you can get a visual reference to what they have in their shop right now.
Yeah, we sit right on the river, 43 acres. Our campus is 43 acres, and it's a beautiful place to visit. So if anyone's out in the Pittsburgh area and is on the broadcast, and they're more than welcome to reach out. We'll give you a private tour and show you around.
Yeah, we've got a couple of people from Maryland, and we got people from Indiana that I'm pretty sure who will make the drive. And we've talked about doing a trip up there because we've been invited by another distillery as well. And I think it'd be fun. I think it's a really interesting project to kind of resurrect, like you said, the Monongahela rye project. And because, we see just the mainline distilleries trying to do it, but I'm not quite sure, if they're doing it the way that you guys would do it. And
No,
Yeah.
and that's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean,
No,
I think they all make great whiskey. It's just you know, I mean, we're probably the biggest whiskey distillery in Pennsylvania.
There you go,
But
Pete.
that makes us like we're still a drop in the bucket when you compare us to the Kentucky guys, and that's okay. But like Pete was saying earlier, I mean, there's so many really cool kind of regional distilleries right now that are showing that sort of the craft guys, if you will, can make whiskey, in my opinion, every bit as good as the big guys. They're just doing it differently. And there's all these new flavors and experiences coming out. And I mean, that's really exciting for me. So.
Well, speaking of that, my next question was actually, I was thinking about what's coming down the pike for you guys. I mean, are you going to do any kind of special releases, limited runs, or what? I mean, what should the Bourbon Legend audience be looking for in the future from Iron City Distilling?
We have you want to go, Peter?
You want me to take this one?
Yeah. Why don't you knock?
I mean, since you weren't born in Pennsylvania, it'd probably be better if I picked that one up.
No.
So we've released a couple single barrels, and we're going to release a couple more single barrels at the end of March of rye. Matt's third book is coming out, so we're going to kind of pair that up with a book release and single barrel release. But we have a sister company, Pittsburgh Brewing Company, been around since 1861. We've only been around since 2023, and we have a little project with them where we acquired a pre-prohibition Iron City beer keg, and back then they were beer kegs were wood and not steel, so they're very thick wood because it was holding pressure. And our partners, Barrel Mill, that did our 40-gallon barrels, we sent this barrel out to them. They took it apart, recoopered it, charred the inside. There was actually a plastic layer in there to shield the beer from the wood back then, and put it back together and shipped it out back to us. They put it in this beautiful treasure chest. Matt and I were on the road, and a couple of the distillers called and said, there's a treasure chest that got delivered. We had no idea what it was, but the Barrel Mill guys, they said it was such a unique project. They learned a lot about how they coopered back then, and they said that to send it back, they had to put it in something special. So we took some a little over 2-year-old rye, and we put it in this pre-prohibition Iron City beer keg that's made out of wood, and so that's been a fun little project. And then we'll be releasing our first. The plan is to release our first bourbon single barrel in June around National Bourbon Month or National Bourbon Day.
So Peter, I got on the Hard Truth sweet mash, so a lot lower proof than what I was drinking. So when y'all keep saying Pennsylvania.
Cheers. Actually, I'm empty. I got to refill.
So I keep hearing. So I've heard multiple times through this interview about books being written. Matt, what kind of books are you writing?
So I do a lot of education in the industry. A ton of articles. I'm a faculty member at a couple different groups. Moonshine University in Louisville, Point Park University here in Pittsburgh, and Institute of Brewing and Distilling in the UK, Siebel Institute, which is now defunct. But I got asked by the head of the American Distilling Institute to write a book on barrels and just barrel maturation and managing barrels for distillers years ago. And I said, yeah, no, I can do that. I'll write the book. And it just, I don't know. It's somehow people bought it. I don't really know why, but they bought it. And then I followed that up with a book on distilling, basically just batch distillation, like working with pot stills and things like that. But my new book, which has been a few years in the making, is basically a textbook on whiskey making, from grain all the way to glass, and everything that goes into that. And so, yeah.
So can I buy that on Amazon or something? Or
yeah, once it'll be released. Yeah, it sounds like it'll be. I'll actually have the first couple copies here in the next week or two. It sounds like. So
nice. I need to get your contact information so I can get a signed copy of that. That sounds really interesting.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty excited about it. So.
Matt, at least he wants a signed copy from your book. I've written a book, and he didn't want a signed copy of mine. But mine was the children's book, How the Reindeer Fly.
See?
Yeah.
If you lived in Pennsylvania,
on Amazon.
But if you lived in Pennsylvania, he might want your signed book.
Well,
that's right. That's it. You got to move.
I would love to actually have a copy of that book about the one talking about barrels, because barrels are one of those things that actually really fascinate me. So many of these whiskey producers, if you will, they're running that through a column still. They're basically stripping most of the flavor out and just letting the barrel do the work. And, I'm personal friends with a Cooper out of Hot Springs. I may or may not, like we said earlier, know a few things about small barrels. May know a few things about larger barrels as well. But it's just fascinating. And my grandfather was actually a stave. He owned a stave mill.
Oh, okay, cool.
And stuff. So I'm just very interested in all that, and where the wood comes from, and where it grows on the side of the mountain. We're from Arkansas, all of us. Roger, even though he's a damn Yankee, a lot of that wood comes from the Ozarks, from Arkansas and Missouri. Mm-hmm. Lots of stave mills here in the state that are making staves for bourbon, whiskey, and wine as well. So that's just a fascinating subject that I think doesn't get enough credit or talked about enough in the whiskey industry. No,
it really doesn't. And yeah, there's the cooperage that we use. We use two cooperages, but we're having them source oak out of Pennsylvania. Just everything, basically any ingredient we use in our process, we try to get as much of that. All of our grain is grown within state. I think basically our yeast is the only thing that we have to bring in.
Is there a lot of white oaks? Is there a lot of white oaks in Pennsylvania?
Yeah. And so there's sort of that French concept of terroir. What does that affect? And yeah, I can attest to that. It does seem, for whatever reason, that the oak I get here is different than the stuff I've worked with in from Minnesota or Missouri or Arkansas, and all of that oak was great. This is just different, and I'm really enjoying it. So,
well, I just found all 3 books on Amazon.
Oh, there you go.
Posted the links in the chat. So if anybody's interested in that, it's in the chat. Go check it out.
I can't follow that link, Will. When I try to push it, it does this.
You can get the books on icdistilling.com, and I think it's less expensive.
I think it is,
than it is on Amazon too.
You'll make more money, Matt, because I know how Amazon does. They take 90% of your profit.
Well, it's the publisher is the American Distilling Institute, and so it's basically them and Amazon. But
okay, so I'm gonna throw your webpage back out there, icdistilling.com.
Yeah, and then you hit the
that way
shop. Or
go
store.
buy your books there. Yeah, go buy your books there.
And the third book, will be out soon. So
and go check out the webpage, because it is basically, in my opinion, one of the coolest websites I've visited for bourbon, whiskey, rye, whatever you want to say. It's some incredible footage of the facility there.
Thank you.
It is really cool.
And I'll add, so we're Iron City Distilling. When everything that we produce in-house is going to be under the flagship of Bessemer. So it'll be Bessemer rye, Bessemer bourbon. We'll have Bessemer American single malt. We make a gin as well. And we're just finishing up, probably in the next 4 weeks or so, we'll have bessemerwhiskey.com up and running. And that'll be more specific to everything that we're making in-house. And we're excited to the branding, the packaging of Bessemer is going to be top-notch, world-class. With the bottles were produced overseas just a couple weeks ago. They're going to hit the water next week, and when they get over the project we were telling you about with the old Pittsburgh Brewing Company barrel, that's going to be our first release in our package that will be the package going forward with Bessemer, and it's going to be like I said, world-class, beautiful packaging.
Yeah, I know with you being in Pennsylvania, I'll remind everybody, you have to go through the Pennsylvania stores or go directly to their website and order and have it delivered to someone within the state of Pennsylvania.
Yep.
Because that's the only way to get it.
You're making us drink triple.
Runs everything.
Okay, I'm getting water this time. I got to have a drink.
Yeah,
that was 4 Pennsylvanias in like
4 Pennsylvanias in a.
I'm going water again.
I guess we're gonna have to make this new rule that, like, if the word of the night is spoken within 30 seconds of each other, you just have to like slow down and just take one for the 4.
Yeah, I know that's the one thing you've got in your state is that restriction is that everything's got to go through the state.
Well,
so if you do it on your website, it's got to go through.
We can ship within our state, right?
Right.
And so, PA. I'm going to use a shortened. We can make it through this call. PA has, like you said, it's a monopoly. It's the most strict control state out of the 17 control states, and. But the one thing that we do well in Pennsylvania is treat our local distilleries well. So we can ship within Pennsylvania. We can go direct to the restaurants and the bars, and we can get a lot of things done in the state, which is a nice benefit. We can get 5 retail licenses to sell our products at other locations. We can get expo permits to go to whiskey shows and festivals and sell our stuff right on site, which is there's other states that wish they could do as many things as we could do in Pennsylvania in that regard. I remember we might have heard this in a previous show. We had another distillery from your state, from PA, but they had stated that it's the cheapest way to get a bar license. Yeah,
is to open a distillery.
There's a lot of people that take advantage. There's actually a convenience store that was basically tried to get like 30 distillery licenses, and they were going to just make their own vodka by bringing in grain neutral spirits. They ended up getting stopped, but it was a way to really circumvent the system.
Yeah, and I know they mentioned that before, and I know you guys are keeping it honest. You're doing it the way you do. Now, how many locations do you guys currently have right now?
Just our main location right now.
Okay.
Our gin's on premise. We have it in about 40 or 50 restaurants around the area. And then once we release the rye, which looks like about October, that we'll release like a mainstream release of rye. Then we'll work on getting that into all the restaurants in town, and we're the focus over the next 12 to 18 months is going to be a 4-hour radius from Pittsburgh and 4 hour, really focus on local and winning our market, and then looking at expansion from there.
Yeah, I noticed you also had on there that was kind of intrigued us a little bit is a wheat whiskey listed on there.
Yep.
And have you started production on that?
So, and let Matt take over a little bit, but So our owner was very against and having anything that wasn't made by us. So originally it was going to be no whiskey aged until everything we made on site was ready. But before Quebec, Matt was at District Distilling Company in Washington, D.C. And they were going out of business, and they had some barrels available. Matt's handwriting's on the barrel. So we acquired those barrels. So the aged whiskey, like that wheat whiskey you see, was made by Matt, but it was made in Washington, D.C. So those products are all under the Iron City Distillers Reserve branding and tagline. And then everything that's made on site is going to be under that Bessemer branding.
When will the wheat whiskey be available, or is it available now?
It's available now. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So we'll have our state trooper over in Pennsylvania come over to Maryland and get some of it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's that particular one we have is a 4-barrel blend that we were tasting through the barrels, and we had some barrels that they weren't single barrel worthy, but they each had specific characteristics that we thought were very good, finish or the palate and mouthfeel. And so we ended up blending 4 barrels into that wheat batch that we have in place now. And it's about 106 proof, and it's a really good bottle.
And Matt, I'll let Craig ask a couple of questions, but
you mean I get to answer a question from you, Roger?
Or you can ask a question. I'll let you ask a question.
Okay.
I was going to ask Matt, finishing, what's your thoughts on, because we've talked to a lot of different people. We had people that utilize, a bung hole with a bung plug with a whole thing of French oak staves that they put in there to do the finishing on. So what's your thoughts on finishing? Is that something you won't look forward to doing, or not in the future?
I do a little bit of it sometimes. I mean, we've got a few products, from my old distillery that we took, and some older port casks and some PX sherry casks and things like that. I've utilized that, and it's a nice way to layer flavors. If I'm being totally honest, I don't really care for finishing that much. If nothing else, because I think that the technique in the past 10 years has been sort of done to death. I've become, over the past 5 or 6 years, a lot more obsessed with the idea of using some of those finishing casks as, for full term maturation, which I can't do with bourbon and rye, but with single malt I can. So our single malt is, there's a bit of anarchy in it, but there is sort of a strategy in a way. And we've got in our single malt program, ex-Calvados casks and different types of rum and different types of wine and champagne barrels and different sherry barrels. And it's just this really, it's just kind of this really crazy array of flavors that, we put the whiskey in there on day one, and we're going to let it go for years and just, see what happens. And I mean, if, early indicators are anything to go by, I mean, it's a decision that I'm pretty excited about.
So that's pretty interesting. Let's talk about the single malt a little bit. So kind of walk us through that process and what kind of flavors you're expecting to get out of that.
So for us, the whole thing with single malt, it wasn't something that we were really planning on doing, but our sister company is a brewery, so they actually will make the mash for us, and then we pipe it over to one of our fermenters and we ferment it. Now I had to kind of work with them on how I wanted the mash done and all the techniques and everything that went into that. And we're still using locally grown barley. Our maltster is actually only 30 minutes away from us. So, we use a small local maltster. But yeah, the spirit gets distilled, and we put it in this kind of this crazy array of casks, and there's not necessarily a rhyme or reason to it. The idea, though, is that release will probably be an annual or semi-annual release, and it's basically just going to be a different cuvee of casks every single time. And so, you know, you'll buy a bottle or hopefully a couple bottles of it, and when it's gone, and that'll be the last that cuvee, you know, will ever be. So, and then it'll be something different the next time. I kind of like playing around with stuff like that. You know, our rye and our bourbon, they definitely have, you know, they're going to have sort of their flagship style, and we will keep that. But, you know, I love this sort of weird ephemeral quality to the single malt program. You know, like once it's gone, it's gone.
So single malts are something pretty new to me.
Mm-hmm.
So why do I get from some single malts kind of almost a fish flavor and others nice chocolate notes?
So it depends on the category, but American single malt is relatively new. I have worked for a couple places that have made it. I made it in Canada, but you know, American single malt has largely been very barrel focused. They basically take, you know, barley distillate, and then they put it in a brand new oak barrel. I have never personally been a huge fan of that. I think brand new barrels tend to beat up on barley distillate. It's very delicate, and depending on how it's made. The stuff that you're talking about, it's probably been peated, so it's probably the just the peat smoke, and peat is just, you know, old decayed vegetable matter, right? That you know, you might dig up in Scotland, and Ireland used to do this too. But that's how they would dry their malt, and they don't have to do that now, but they'll still burn some peat, and they'll let the smoke get onto the malt, and then as they mash it, they distill it. That smoke kind of carries through into the barrel, and so, you know, some of the most famous, you know, peated whiskey distilleries, things like Ardbeg and Lefroy, they, you know, they have that very like kind of saline, ocean-like character to them.
Yeah, that's interesting. So to me, this Yellowstone single malt is like licking a catfish, and this Redwood Empire Foggy Burl is just a chocolate, slightly coffee dream.
Yeah.
So yeah. I guess it's just something different in the process.
Well, and some of them are using specialty malts, like if they were making a beer, you know, so they'll use, it's all malted barley, but some of the malt might be kilned for a little bit longer. You know, I've used roasted malts in a lot of my whiskeys. I don't do that for Iron City, but there's all kinds of stuff that you can do. There's who is it? Coppercraft Distillery in Seattle. They use 5 different malts in their recipe, you know, because they're ex-brewers, and they were like, you know, we want to paint with these different flavors. But yeah, there's some really interesting ones out there. There's also some that I won't name names, but yeah, that I'm kind of like, yeah, it's pretty exciting.
So now I'm going to go down a rabbit hole. It wasn't the question I was going to ask, but if you guys have time, if you don't, let me know. So a single malt would mean that it's a malted grain. Whether it could be malted corn, malted rye, malted barley. Why would somebody do that instead of using just a corn? Because I mean, if you're going to use a malted barley, you're going to have to use a lot more of it than corn. So is it, you know, to get your sugars, you know, to where you need it to be to get your proof when you ferment or whatever? Why would somebody do that? Is it strictly flavor? I mean, is that what it is, or?
It's flavor, and actually, you know, there's some economics to it. So technically, per pound, malted barley has more starch in it than corn would.
Okay.
But and that's because a lot of the moisture has been driven out of it. And so malted barley, you know, the yield on malted barley is actually a little bit higher than most corn.
What is malted barley? It mean, like PPG wise, what are we talking?
I look at it at liters of alcohol per ton, and that's usually you're getting about 420 liters of pure alcohol per ton of grain, whereas with corn you'd be looking probably about 380. You know.
Okay.
And that's mostly just because corn has more water in it than malted barley does. That's really all it is. It's just a water difference. If you were to malt corn, though, the way it gets malted, and you can malt it, it's just really difficult. But a lot of times, by the time it's done being malted, the embryo, the plant inside, the corn kernel has consumed so much of that starch that you've actually lost a lot of yield anyway. But gotcha. I have seen some people malt corn
and for people out there watching that don't know really what malt means, malting, you know, usually let's say in a regular bourbon you'd have corn, you'd have some rye, and you'd have malted barley, and that is what actually gives it the enzymes to convert the sugars into or starches into sugars. Correct? Am I correct?
Yeah.
Well, Matt, you got one correct.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I was just going to say I was going to make a PA comment, but you brought it on. But
I know a little bit. I know just enough to get my ass in trouble.
You know, one thing.
I know nothing.
Thing, you know not.
Yeah, I work from the neck down. The neck down.
Okay, I do want to ask my original question though, and it is: what mistake? Because everybody makes mistakes. What mistakes or tough lessons have you learned that you've made there at the new distillery at Iron City? What have you done that you thought was going to work, and it just like, wow, that just.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. We're still figuring out some of that stuff, actually. You know, I tell my guys pretty regularly that basically any mistake they could make in the business, I've probably done at least 3 times. Because apparently once or even twice isn't enough for me to learn it. But no, we're still kind of figuring that out. I mean, I've been pretty pleased with everything. If anything, probably one of the biggest things was that I wish we had just gotten the 3-chamber from the get-go. I wish I'd kind of planned that out a bit better. But also, I wish I hadn't let our facilities manager talk me into so much automation on everything. I don't really like it. You know, a lot of people like having, you know, little touch panels, and it kind of drives me crazy though. It's a really nice facility.
You want to be hands-on.
Yeah, that's kind of how I prefer it, to be honest. There are some things, you know, when you're mashing in, you know, 3,000 pounds of grain at a time. I mean, you don't want to be lugging bags around or anything, but so you know that I'm fine with. But yeah, there are some things that I'm just like, man, we didn't have to automate that.
We all 3 of us went to Bardstown Bourbon Company in October, and the amount of automation there. For that matter, we went to the new Heaven Hill Springs.
Yeah.
It's just crazy how, I mean, basically you don't really need but like one person to sit there and run these, you know, fermenters and whatnot.
I was just there hanging out with Sydney the other day, in fact. And I asked her how many people she has to have running on a shift to run that entire plant. And she said, including maintenance, about 6 or 7 people. That's it.
Yeah.
It's insane. Yeah. It's insane.
Sorry.
I still don't know what that
Is
is.
Sydney from Pennsylvania?
She is not.
No, she's not. She is a very good person. We interviewed and talked to her a little bit when we went through the distillery and talked to her a little bit. Very interesting. But that's the funny thing about it. Now, I learned something the other day. There's a cargo ship that runs on the ocean. Used to have 100 people that would have to run on a cargo ship. Now there's 22.
Yeah.
The automation level there is just amazing. And I know with distilling, we don't necessarily want it to all go away. I know some of the safety things you want to stay. You want to make sure that nothing blows up. Will knows that. And yeah, you don't want anything to blow up, but you want to make sure that, you're still not relenting to too much of the process to a machine as opposed to what you can do as a person.
I think that's the thing is that I like making whiskey very intentionally, and I think automation is great for some people, but there is something about actually making it by hand as much as possible, even if that's not part of your marketing, and even if people don't really understand that that's what you're doing. I think the fact that you do it still matters, so.
Well, I mean, that's what makes it a craft, right? I mean, you're putting in your own process, as opposed to some AI program, or I don't know if AI is even involved in any of this, but it will be at some point.
Some of it is now. Where I know Whiskey House in Kentucky has talked about. They've kind of bragged about that quite a bit, and I don't know. In just my own mind, I'm like, I don't think that's anything to brag about personally. But
I agree with you there. I'll drink to that, Peter Katz, Pennsylvania.
I wanted to throw out something that hasn't come up, which is our mash bill for rye. So we do 100% rye, and it's 50% malted, 50% raw rye. So it's a unique mash bill. Matt, in his historical studies, found a distillery here in McKeesport, which is kind of east of Pittsburgh, called Old Possum Hollow, and that was their mash bill. So we modeled it after that. That distillery is owned by a gentleman by the name of Thomas Moore, which people have probably seen Sazerac Thomas Moore products. It's not the same Thomas Moore, but our owner was in the coal mining business, or is in the coal mining business, and it just so happened that Thomas Moore was also in the coal mining business, and then he got into the whiskey business, and so there's some pretty neat correlations there that tie in, and doing 100% rye. The flavor profile is just fantastic.
And I have to say one more thing, and then we can let Roger ask the question that he has lined up next. But man, rye is such a pain in the ass to deal with, at least on a small scale. How do you deal with that on a large scale? Like it's gummy, it's hard to. I mean, how do you do it?
Matt, do you mind if I take this one?
Yeah, go ahead.
At least to start. So when I started, we have 6 distillers, and our one distiller, Nick, he kind of focuses on the mash. And my first week there, Nick happened to be on PTO, and we had one of the other distillers doing the mash, and it didn't go so well. The gummy, everything was just gummed up on the coils, and it wasn't a smooth mash. And Matt was like, I swear this doesn't happen often, and we ended up losing that whole batch. But the challenge is there. I mean, Nick is just Mr. Consistency. He handles all our mashes every time, and he's just constantly making sure that all those issues with rye, he eliminates those issues because of how consistent he is. Matt,
No, he's really good. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, part of it is just making sure that you get really good grain. There's some enzymes and things like that that you can add in to help, but we are very careful about all the temperatures that we use, the amount of water that we're using. I mean, so yeah, there are some tricks to it. 100%. It's really not that bad. It's not as scary as people think it is. But it does make a very different style of rye. And
I'm assuming on your triple what was the name of your still again? A triple
three chamber.
Three chamber.
Yep.
I'm assuming that you're distilling on the grain. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So see that's I think the big difference where somebody like me can't do that, and they can only distill the actual alcohol. I mean, the beer, if you will, not with the grains in it.
Yeah, it's
very hard to separate the liquid from the grain, even with mechanical ways, presses or rice hulls or whatever. It's still, compared to corn, it's very difficult.
Oh, absolutely.
That's why I don't see much rye out of my backyard. Roger, take that next question, sir.
Well, my question is, and we've been talking a lot about your products that you guys make on a regular basis, but is there a particular bourbon that you, or a bourbon or a whiskey or a scotch, that you're always going to want to have in your collection at home, that you want to go home to and just sip and drink on and know, okay, this is what I'm, what I love. So I'll start with Peter.
Yeah. So here in Pennsylvania.
Hold on, full glass. Sorry.
We just had one of our lottery system, and I was lucky to win a Thomas H. Handy, and that is one of the ones that I would say that I always enjoy. And if I could accumulate a whiskey that I make sure I never run out of, I would throw Thomas H. Handy into the mix, and of course Bessemer would be right up there.
Of course.
Which luckily I do have a few bottles of that as well. And Uncle Larry 9138, you live near Pittsburgh. These guys can give you our contact information. If you want to come down and do a special tour, you're more than welcome to anytime.
There you go. And I have to agree with you, Peter. I will always take a handy anytime anybody wants to give me one.
That is.
Hold on. How come somebody didn't?
I think that's outlawed in Pennsylvania, though.
How come somebody didn't give me this? I needed the whole. Where is it at?
Well, he's looking for something that's not there. Yeah, there we go.
Tough crowd. Okay, Matt, what about you?
What about you?
I am actually probably the worst person to ask this question, because I am.
No, you're not, because there's the other guy that answered and said, "I don't drink anymore."
Oh yeah, okay.
So we're
not that.
I think you're safe there.
Yeah, no, not that. No, but I am. I rarely have the same bottle on my shelf twice. So because I'm constantly exploring. So that's kind of the issue. Right now, I have a black corn whiskey from Argentina right now that I really like. But once that's gone, I don't know what I'll end up having next. So yeah.
Okay, so folks, everybody's going to go out now and look for a black corn whiskey from Argentina.
The first thing I think of is when Matt says black corn from Argentina, I think of our old friend from Wood Hat.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know
he's
Gary.
good. Yeah,
Gary.
Yeah, everybody
Mr.
knows Gary.
Heimgartner.
Yeah.
I've known
Mr.
Gary for a
Yeah.
long time.
He is a corn guru. We had him on our show back in the fall, and I'm like, Gary, we got to get you back on here and just like pick your brain again about corn again. Hey guys, we do have a question.
Yeah.
Tupelo Runner
I noticed
wants to know
that.
how close to Doylestown.
Doylestown's about a 4-hour drive, so we're just 12 miles north of
see.
Pittsburgh. And I noticed Tupelo Runner put Doylestown, PA, not Doylestown, Pennsylvania.
Ah,
He's drinking.
Well, guys,
I think we need to get
wish-
Peter. We need to get Peter on one of our day drinking shows.
that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Peter's
he'd
gonna
fit
work
right
out
in.
well.
Well,
Matt,
I
you've
hate
been great.
I hate that I was in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania last October and didn't know about you guys because I sure would have
Were
came by
you?
for a
Oh,
visit.
Yeah, he had to go to a safety conference because he is a. What are you? What kind of person are you now?
Project management professional. But yeah, so I was up there for a hydroelectric conference, and first time I've ever been to Pittsburgh. Love the place, beautiful. Went to Iron City Pizza down there downtown.
Ironborn.
And,
Yeah.
Oh yeah. All right, yeah.
yeah, so had some of the beer from your sister company. Just had a great time. Looking forward to going back to spend some more time up there.
We love hosting people. When you come to our facility, you walk through and you're just amazed, and to know that we have a world-class facility. Our town is called Creighton, PA, which, like I said, is about 12 miles north of the city of Pittsburgh. And to know that we have this facility, we love to show it off. So we're welcome guests. We do tours Thursday through Sunday, but if anyone's in town and reached out to us, we'll say, you're going to stop in Tuesday at 10 a.m. No problem. We'll welcome you, show you what's going on. And like Matt said, we're fully transparent. People come and leave us comments that say, I've been to distillery tours all around the world, but your tour was the most open and honest and gave us more information than any tour we've been on. That's our motto.
It sounds like we need to have a Bourbon Legends road trip to come up there and shoot a little content.
Bring it on.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Well,
How far of a drive is that from Arkansas?
It's only 14 hours from my house to Pittsburgh. We can do that in one day.
Craig,
One day,
we're gonna be like you with B.A. Baracus. We're gonna just numb you up and put you on a plane and fly you up there, and you get off the plane and be like, "Where am I at? You're in Pennsylvania."
Yeah, there you go. That would be easier.
Oh crap! I'm out again. Oh boy, what am I going to pour now?
Yeah, what the hell? Let's just one more for Peter. Pennsylvania.
Hey, and Peter, if you run out of that handy, this new Sazerac rye, 125 proof.
Yeah,
you need to get a bottle of that. I'm just telling you.
I have a bottle. I was down. I was was lucky enough to have a friend here in Pittsburgh that was doing a OWA 107 pick.
Oh,
and
that's our favorite. That is our favorite.
We had some really good selections there. Then we hit the gift shop and they had that 125 Saz.
Oh.
I grabbed one. I haven't opened it yet. Wednesday, all our distillers and Matt, we all cross over, so we're all there. So we taste everything on Wednesdays. We drill into barrels. We taste different spirits, and so one of these.
So that's what Wednesdays you said.
Yeah. So
that's
if you visit,
we need to go there.
Come on a Wednesday. That is a good day to come.
Wednesday.
Yep. But
hey guys,
if it's another day, it gives us an excuse to drill in, especially when we have a lot of Pennsylvania barrels laying around.
Oh,
you just tell us what day you want us there.
Oh, it sounds like we could be there Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Yes. Yeah. And then Tupelo Runner can come on over from Doylestown.
Yeah. Well, he's from Tupelo. I don't know what Doylestown has to do with him, but
well,
anyway, folks, hey, I know it's late over at your place, and you probably have to work like we do in the morning, except for Roger because he's retired. And Roger, I never know whether I'm going to get a phone call from Roger at 8 in the morning or at 11:30. You never know. Guys, thank you for being on the show. Everybody go check out the links that Will's been putting down. Oh, his Tupelo Runner says his brother lives in Dolestown. Well, that would be an excuse to drive over.
Yeah.
So from Iron City Distilling, we want to welcome or thank. We don't want to welcome. We don't want to start this over. We want to thank you guys.
Let's go back to the beginning and start all over because this has been a whole lot of fun.
No,
It has been fun.
Did I mention we're from Pennsylvania?
Oh God.
Yeah.
Here we go
Peter
again.
Katz, Matt Strickland, thank you guys. Anytime you want to be back on the show, holler at us, and we can talk about Pennsylvania again.
Hey, and all our listeners out there, hang on there because we're not done yet. We've got a couple more things to go through. We have a special, exciting announcement to go through.
Oh, are we doing the announcement tonight?
Oh, well, it's up to you. I have an announcement for Bad Axe Bourbon, Bobby Bad Axe Bourbon.
That's right.
I need people to remember that he's got a live stream tomorrow night.
Okay. Well,
Bobby and DRC Bar are doing a live stream tomorrow night with at 5:35 Pacific Standard Time. So it's kind of
is
earlier
Roger
in the
slurring
afternoon.
his words a little bit?
No. Earlier in the afternoon. Will just put out the DRC Bar and Bobby's YouTube pages out there. They're going to be going live tomorrow night, and they're going to be doing a charity live. They've got a barrel pick that they did with Still Austin. It's a cast strength rye. And if you purchase a bottle, you're entered in and get a raffle ticket for the giveaways that they have that evening as well for their charity. I don't know if we're able to show that little meme. I sent it across to Craig, but it's probably a little bit.
I don't know what you're talking about, Roger.
Is
Sorry.
the Alyssa Ann Roosh Foundation. It's a
Mike Brock. I like your comment.
Proceeds go to charity.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Jeff Cass threw in a Pennsylvania. Jeff Cass,
Oh
1290.
Lord, you guys are killing me.
So
All right,
You know what?
Roger,
Hey, Craig.
while they're still
Craig,
on, if you want to do it, we can do it. What?
Let's. I mean, we can break protocol, and if these guys want to hang around while we do the rest of the show, I'm fine with it.
It's up to you guys whether y'all want to stick around or not. I mean, if you
we have a special announcement.
Look,
that I think
anytime you guys,
tonight.
let's do it this way. Anytime you guys want to drop from the show, all you have to do is just turn your computer off and you're dropped. But otherwise, we're going to move on. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Roger, is that what you're wanting to do?
Matt goes in a little earlier than me.
Yeah, I was going to say I probably have to jump off.
Hey,
but.
you can jump, Matt. Thank you for being on, though.
I think
thank
we
you,
need
guys.
to do the exciting announcement tonight.
Okay, hold on. Real quick. Roger wants to do an exciting announcement. I don't know how this is going to work, but Roger, you start talking and I'll start moving.
Well, about a month ago, or a month and a half ago, me and Craig were talking, and I had decided that maybe, I've heard a couple other people that have become a certain tagline for the state of Kentucky. And so I wrote to my buddy, Andy Brashear. He's the governor of the state of Kentucky, and asked Andy, would he consider Craig, the Honorable Craig Allen Imboden, as a Kentucky colonel. And this week, the other day, Craig received the notification that he is a what?
Honorable
You guys,
Kentucky colonel.
Nice.
So that's right.
So from now on, you have to address him as the Honorable Kentucky
Craig Allen
Colonel
Imboden.
Bourbon Senator Craig Allen Imboden.
Yeah, Kentucky colonel.
Goodness.
Oh, he's right up there. Colonel Sanders, Colonel Bourbon Santa.
So we have a celebrity amongst us, and if it takes it, I'll say the word Pennsylvania
That's
for
right.
people to toast it. But
Look here, you see my name change?
Yeah, there we go.
There it is.
Colonel Craig and Bowden, Bourbon Santa.
Pennsylvania, folks. Thank you.
Pennsylvania, that's right.
Cheers.
And all I know is I like to thank my friend, the governor of the state of Kentucky, for taking time to reach out to Craig, send him the notification, and then invite him to the State House for a reception in his honor that we're going to have later in the year that we're going to broadcast, folks.
I don't know about that. Considering that I work for the governor of Arkansas as Mr. Claus, I don't know if that had something to do with it or if it was just Roger's talking in cursive that had something to do with it. But I am very honored to be an honorable colonel. For some reason, when I hear that, I want to talk like Foghorn Leghorn, and I want to say, "I say son, I'm a colonel, son." But yeah, I've got my white seersucker suit ordered. I've got the little bow tie like the Colonel Sanders wore, and we're going to be celebrating with buckets of chicken.
So we're playing this up real crazy, but this is no lie. This is the real deal, authentic thing.
No,
Roger
this is true.
Application.
This is true.
Yeah.
Roger told a compelling story for Craig, and Craig really does a good service for our community here, and he's a bourbon ambassador. He brings a lot of joy to children's hearts around Christmas time, and bourbon's, Craig's just a great guy all around. So
my dog thinks so at
honor.
least. Well, thank you guys and girls, and you don't have to call me Colonel unless you just want to.
So, Colonel Craig, can you tell us more about this
sir.
raffle? Like, I see people commenting about the raffle.
Oh, the raffle, 30 bottles to raffle. This is okay. Roger knows about this.
This is Bobby Bad X Bourbon tomorrow night. He's got over 30 bottles. He's 31 bottles. Oh, wait, no, 30 bottles. Something they're doing for this charity auction that they're doing tomorrow night. Bobby could probably explain it much better than I can. But the key is if you go out to his website, you go out to his YouTube show, you go out to DRC Bar. They've had numerous shows where they've talked about having this tomorrow night. It's all for charity. Yeah. It'll be a fun night. I think there's a lot of people in the Bourbon Tube that are going to be tuning in tomorrow night to try to see if they can win one of these. But the key is to go out and get one of the bottles of the store pick, which qualifies you for the giveaway. Okay. And it's a Still Austin straight cast strength rye store pick from DRC Bar and Bobby Bad Axe Bourbon.
Oh, those Still Austin ryes are phenomenal ryes. I really enjoy Still Austin rye, so I need to try to find that link.
Can we donate a bottle of our very first release that we released that sold out in 14 minutes to this auction?
Oh yeah, if you contact Bobby, you definitely can. He's got his information is on there. If you need his, and what I'll do is I will also send you his direct link, his direct
connect us, and he said heck yes. So I'll so add that to the auction. Bessemer rye batch number 1, and whoever the winner is, I'll just ship it directly to their house whenever you just give me their address, and I'll ship it right to them.
You'll hand deliver it. That's what you have to say now. You can't ship it. You're hand delivering it to them.
Correct.
That's right.
But only in Pennsylvania.
Oh yes.
He can pick it up. He can pick it up in Pennsylvania. All right, hey guys, let's
Bad Axe Bourbon. Thanks for doing what you do for charity. That's bourbon, rye, whiskey, all that stuff is great liquid, and we like drinking it. But what makes it special is connecting people together. And the three of you and Matt and I getting to meet each other tonight, and Bad Axe Bourbon and James Morgan and Jeff Katz and all those people. It's the people that makes it special. And so thank you for having us, and we really appreciate it. Yep.
Well, we appreciate you guys being on here for sure.
Thoroughly enjoyed having y'all tonight.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks for being on, and we're going to move on, okay?
Sounds good.
Pennsylvania. Bye,
Thank you,
guys.
Cheers.
Thank you. Hey, that was fun, guys.
Yeah, that was a good time.
Will, do you want to do? Look, can I do something before we hop into trivia real quick? We've got a little.
Yeah, you bet.
trivia.
Hey, you need to put that ticker up.
I think I'm starting to talk in cursive. Are you talking about this ticker here?
There you go.
If you want to win a Weller Rainbow set, let me reach back here. I got the whole Weller lineup here.
Coasters.
So
all you have to do is hit hashtag Weller.
Can I put hashtag Weller in?
Yeah, you can do it, Will. It's all. Some people think that is rigged, but there's no way I can rig it.
Well, here's the thing: since we get paid so much to do this show, and
wait a minute.
Wait, hold on.
Wait a minute. I pay to get to do this show.
Oh wait, hold on.
Look here, I want to do a shout out. I want to do a shout out here to Baka Kong, who rode in Bacchus, the best damn New Orleans nighttime crew. That's my buddy right there, Baka Kong. Mr. Jay Timon in the house. I hope you win, Jay. And if you do, then they're going to say it's rigged, but I hope you win. Any of you guys are ever in New Orleans during Mardi Gras on Sunday, Bacchus Sunday, you got to go check out. They've got cups. God, I don't know. Jay, in the comments, tell me how many ounces that cup is. I mean, it's like a half a gallon or something.
Man,
It's crazy.
I've only seen 5 people put their name in, so I'm gonna throw my name in there too. What the heck?
Look here, Dom Marty is saying it's rigged. And we haven't even spun the wheel yet. Come on. You guys got to play. Come on.
I'm in there now. Look at that.
Okay. Hell, maybe I could be in it too. All right, let's play some Chill Will trivia, okay?
Chill Will trivia. Let's go.
Chill Will trivia.
There you go. I still love that. I love that logo. I love it. That's the best thing ever.
I tell you what, Will.
What?
I'm pretty well lubricated after all that Pennsylvania talk.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of that. Or is that still going on, or are we done?
No, yeah, you can keep doing it all you want.
Yeah,
I'm done because I got to try to finish this damn show out. All right, Roger, I'm removing you and I'm removing me. So, Will, it's all.
Okay, so here it's all on me. Let's wait till the question pops up, and I will read the question to you. I'll read the answers out loud 2 or 3 times. Give your best guess in the comments. Approximately how many speakeasies operated in New York City at the height of Prohibition? Was it about 500, about 5,000, about 30,000, or about 100,000? How many speakeasies operated in New York during Prohibition? So 500, 5,000, 30,000, or 10,000? Jeff Castle says 5,000. Who else wants to take a guess? Let's see, 500, 5,000, 30,000, 100,000. Anybody else have any kind of idea how many speakeasies? Bourbon Legends said 30,000. They're going way up there. Dom says 100,000. James Morgan, Big Town, 30,000. That's probably a pretty good guess. A lot of people live in New York City. Who else? Anybody else want to hazard a guess on this? There it is. If you said 30,000, you are correct. So we're going to move on to the next question. What body of water was famous for rum running routes to the U.S.? Was it the Great Lakes, the Mississippi River, the Atlantic Rum Row offshore, or the Gulf of Mexico? So I mean, is that, well, I guess back then it was the Gulf of Mexico. Now they're calling it the Gulf of America. But anyway, so rum running, where did rum come from? Did it come through the Great Lakes? Did it come through the Mississippi River, the Atlantic Rum Row, or the Gulf of Mexico? James Caldwell says C. Bourbon Nerd says B. James Caldwell says B. So nobody's said the Gulf yet. Jeff Kessel said C. What else? Anybody else want to hazard a guess on this? Where did rum running routes to the U.S. go? Let's see if we got our answer. Martin Cox says D, Gulf of Mexico, but no, it was C, the Atlantic Rum Row offshore. So I guess they came across the Atlantic Ocean, maybe up the East Coast. All right. What's our next question? Which U.S. state was the first to ratify the 18th Amendment? Was it Kentucky, Mississippi, Nebraska, or Maine? Bonus points if you know what the 18th Amendment is. So James Morgan's saying A here, Kentucky. Let's see. Is the 18th Amendment, who ratified it first? Was it Kentucky, Mississippi, Nebraska, or Maine? So Dom says B, Mississippi. Bourbon Nerd says A, Kentucky. So what do we say here? What do we say here? No more prohibition. Jeff Castle, you are correct, sir. I would kind of say probably Kentucky on this one too, because who benefits the most? But it was Mississippi. We're all wrong if we didn't say Mississippi. All right. So what's next? Do we have another question? Let's see what happens. Yes, we do. What was the legal quantity of medicinal whiskey a doctor could prescribe to a patient every 10 days during Prohibition? So every 10 days, the doctor could give you what? 1 pint, 1 quart, 1 gallon, or 1/5. So we got 2 people saying a pint. Does anybody want to go with a gallon? Could you get a gallon prescribed by the doctor per every 10 days? Let's see. James Morgan, what do you think? You're out? Come on. Surely you can guess something on this. Maybe the comments are behind. I'm not sure. What's the legal quantity? So we got everybody saying A, pints. Everybody's saying pints. Everybody's saying pints. Nobody wants to say a gallon? Come on. And the answer is 1 pint. So you guys are all correct for guessing 1 pint. All right. That was fun. That was
exciting. I didn't know that we weren't going to be able to communicate between the questions, but I think it turned out pretty good.
I got them all right.
Yeah.
Hey, we're going to bring Peter back on. Peter wants to hang out and drink.
Well, let's hang out.
I was just going to say, I have my father and my grandfather were obstetrician gynecologists, and I thought it was in my desk somewhere. I have a prescription pad from Prohibition. When my mom passed away, we were cleaning out my parents' house, and I got this prescription pad that my grandfather was writing prescriptions out. Basically, they had menstrual cramps, and he wrote prescriptions for alcohol to relieve the menstrual cramps. And the whole pad is mostly it's flu or menstrual cramps. It's pretty interesting.
Wow,
that's neat. That's really neat.
So the women are big into the drinking back then too, huh?
Yeah, during Prohibition, that was their way to get the booze in Pennsylvania.
That was way before when you could say that you identified as a woman to get.
Yeah, exactly.
Could you imagine if that happened today? You'd go to your doctor and say, "I identify as a woman. I'm having cramps, and I would like a pint of whiskey, please."
Got to have something to relax, right?
That's right.
That's right. Let's see how many people. 10 entries. Come on, guys, you can do better than that. Only, you know how long it took me to print these things off a damn 3D printer?
Yeah,
and only 10 of you guys are interested in it? Jesus, come on, folks.
Hold on.
What are you doing, Raj?
So
I
yeah,
like this part of the show because this part of the show, you don't have to be like so precise. You can just talk in cursive like Mike Brock says.
So
what
just like I
river?
put
What
in there-
river are you on, Peter? I saw in the picture there was a river there. What river was that the distillery's right on?
It's right on the Allegheny River. So the Allegheny flows from the north, kind of starts in central Pennsylvania, cuts up into New York, and comes down towards Pittsburgh. The Monongahela is one of the few rivers that starts south of us. It flows north up into, and then the confluence makes the Ohio and heads down your way.
I was going to say that was a trivia question for all of our geography people,
Especially if you live in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, exactly. Pennsylvania.
That's right. So I'm empty again, if you can believe it. So I got to find something else to pour.
Well, I'm telling you, it's a fine line between Thursday night and Friday morning with us tonight.
I'll tell you what, I'm glad I don't have to get up as early tomorrow as normal.
If you're drinking good whiskey, you don't have to worry about it. You know, good whiskey doesn't create hangovers.
How about a little Kentucky Spirit? Let's do that next.
Has anybody seen the new bottle of the Kentucky Spirit with the old fantail that they brought back now?
I have not seen that. No,
it's supposedly out there.
It's supposedly out there. I'm waiting for it.
Uncle Larry 9138 typed Pennsylvania into the comments.
All right. Well, I've got a pour now.
Uncle Larry 9138.
Definitely in your area, and he's going to be coming by your place first.
So Uncle Larry, if you don't come see me, I'm going to be disappointed.
Yeah, and you've got to give us a full report on the Bourbon Legends of your activities that you did when you were there.
But did Uncle Larry enter hashtag Weller for the Weller coasters?
I won't know until we roll this. Until we roll the dice.
The bourbon bitch did, so she wants the coasters.
Come on. I bet the bourbon bitch wants them coasters.
Well, yeah, we know. And you know what she's going to do with those? She's going to walk up to a certain man. What's his name called?
A certain
Party
man,
Marty.
Party Marty. She's going to walk up to Party Marty and go, "These are not for you," and she's going to walk away.
Do you guys think that we can stretch this thing out for 9 more minutes before we do the drawing? That'd make it 2 hours. Hey, let's do open mic night. Open mic night. Anybody that wants to have a question or a comment, put it on here. We're going to feature it. You can be as funny or as sad or as cunning as you want to be. We're going to put it out here, and we'll consume it, chew it up, spit it back out at you. So if you have a comment that you want to put on here that we feature.
So what's your favorite part about working in a distillery?
For me?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Peter.
You know, one of my favorite all-time movies is Willy Wonka. And when I walk through the brewery over to the distillery, my office is pretty far from the distillery. Literally every day I almost think to myself, this just can't be real. We literally our brewery is a 100-barrel system. It's these beautiful stainless steel tanks that everything on the brewery side is automated. And I just walk through there and think to myself, I'm going to wear a top hat and do a little tumble with my cane, just like they did at Willy Wonka. But, you know, I sold whiskey for 25 years, like I said, and to have the opportunity to bring these brands to market that are going to be world-class whiskeys that, you know, we've had several writers and reviewers in, and they taste our new make, they taste our aged whiskey that's still fairly young, and they look at us and say, this is the best new make whiskey we've ever tasted. Lou Bryson, that has said the best new make whiskey he's ever tasted. Sam Komlenik, who's the editor for Whiskey Advocate, copy editor, he said our initial release was the best inaugural release he's ever tasted. And so we're just super proud of what we're doing. And
we really screwed up. I really screwed up and dropped the ball on this and not didn't ask for a sample.
Yeah, we'll
So we can
still
all sit
send you
and drink
samples.
with
Yeah,
you guys.
we'll send you samples.
I need to do that.
I agree with you. We should have been toasting samples, but
yeah, you know, I think when I tried to get you guys on the show, that was right around before Christmas, and I was really, really busy. And you guys were going overseas or something, right? Or is that another guest?
I went overseas.
Okay, you went overseas.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
That's my bad, guys. Sorry, I dropped the ball on that one.
Hey, that's okay.
We'll send you samples. We'll connect. Get us addresses. We'll get samples out to you.
We can do that because we have your contact information, and you never know when I'm going to send you a text. It was funny. The other day in my local liquor store, or Will's local liquor store as well, they dropped a J. Riger hazmat, and it sold out in less than a day. And Ryan was from I'm sorry, did I say J. Riger?
This one?
Yeah.
That one right there. Yeah, that's probably my bottle you have. And I sent him a text and I'm like, look, I didn't mean to bug you, but tell me about this bottle. I needed the down low on it. So you never know. Let's see how many people have 12 entries. James, only 12 entries.
Well, let's drag it out a little bit longer. James Morgan says stouts or IPAs. I prefer stouts myself. I don't care for IPAs. What's about the rest of y'all? What do you think?
I'm not a big beer drinker. I'm not a big beer drinker, honestly.
Yeah, I'm a stout person. I'm going a lot after the what's the one that we just had recently here? Will, you're gonna help me out because I'm old man and I don't remember these things. But
the one we had recently,
you
had some Goose Islands that you had.
Goose Islands, Goose Island stout. I have enjoyed that because it goes really good with a bourbon. If you have just a little bit of that and have a bourbon on the side, it's a perfect combination.
I'm gonna go with IPA. I mean, I like bitter.
There we go.
Campari, things like that. I'll take those any day of the week. So, but I like stout. I think with a lot of things, it depends on your mood, what you're eating, things like that kind of leads you to what you're going to drink that night. Uncle Larry, I have one more question for you. You said you're close to Pittsburgh. Where are you located? You could throw that in the chat. I've been to Great Lakes. I've been to Great Lakes. That's in Cleveland, so that's not far from here.
Oh, I know my buddy.
Am I in the drawing yet, Craig? I've typed it 14 times. Am I there yet?
Well, you got to learn how to spell Weller first.
Oh, okay.
That's Wheelers.
Oh, my bad.
I tried to join that chat and it asked me to log into YouTube. I don't even know if I have a YouTube account.
Oh boy. We're gonna have to get you a YouTube account.
I don't know how I can add you to try to win that. That's the bad thing. Look here, Bourbon Nerd says he likes Busch Light.
Yeah, there we go.
You should try IC Light out of the state of Pennsylvania.
There we go.
All right, that's it. I ain't doing no more.
Hey, Busch Light's a decent palate cleanser,
Not like pickles, though. Pickles will cleanse your palate like you wouldn't believe.
Oh, hey, talking about pickles, I went to Costco the other day, and I got these cucumber chips that are dill pickle flavored. And they're the most amazing thing you'll ever put in your mouth, Craig. You'll love it.
I don't know about that. I've had some pretty amazing things in my mouth, and
let's not talk about what's been in Craig's mouth.
Are you going back to Handy's already?
Has anybody told you guys that I actually am a Kentucky Colonel? I say I am a Kentucky Colonel. I got a feeling that most people don't actually believe that because I'm so full of crap most of the time. Roger will prove it to you. Where did I dropped Peter off? Oops.
There he is.
Sorry.
In Pittsburgh, we're known for bridges and rivers. and we have a festival called Picklesburg. They close off a bridge and everyone sets up booze, and our sister company actually brews a pickle brew, about 50 or 60 kegs of it, and they just blow through it in a couple days. And Picklesburg is a big thing in here in Pittsburgh.
Sweet. Yeah, I was right when I went up there. I stayed right down by the convention center, just like 2 blocks away.
Yeah.
You know, a walk over to the convention center for the meetings and stuff, and then walk up the street to the different places to have a drink or, you know, get something to eat. It was really beautiful. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
So from there, you saw the 3 yellow bridges. The furthest one from the convention center, that's the Roberto Clemente Bridge, and that whole bridge gets closed down, and everyone just parties on there and does pickle things.
Shall we do this, gentlemen?
Yeah, we're 2 hours in. Let's do the giveaway.
You know, Dom already says it's rigged. So mark that down. Dom already has it as rigged.
We'll see who wins.
So if Dom wins, it's rigged.
All I can do is push one button. There's no way I can rig it. Here we go. Beep 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 beep.
Yep, it's rigged.
Absolutely, it's rigged.
Absolutely, it's freaking rigged. God.
Damn it.
Is he eligible? Is Mike Brock eligible to win?
I guess we can let Mike have some of those.
You know,
congratulations, Mike Brock.
Mike would use them. Mike will use those.
Stay off of my lawn.
Yeah, you're gonna have to make up a special "Stay Off My Lawn" Weller coaster.
And I'm not just going to send those to Mike. I'm going to send him some samples and something else because, you know, I like
send
Mike.
him a pickle.
Look what he says. It must be rigged if I win.
I think Mike's probably been Pennsylvania. He's probably been doing that with us all night.
Pennsylvania Dutch country, boy. He's been living and drinking.
There's one thing about Pennsylvania I was going to bring up and I didn't, and then I'm like, what the hell? I might as well. What's the deal with those sawdust pies you guys have up there? Ugh. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, a sawdust pie, a shoe fly pie, a shoe fly pie. It tastes like sawdust, for crying out loud.
I don't know. In Pittsburgh, we got pierogies, and we have French fries on our salad. That's our Pittsburgh.
French fries on a salad. I've never heard of that.
Oh yeah, that's a very popular item up here.
Really?
Permanti.
Yeah, so that's a sandwich where we have a very thick Italian bread, and then we have meat, fries, and then coleslaw all in the sandwich.
Yep. I ate there one night. That was phenomenal. Yeah,
I recommended that to you.
Roger took care of me on that.
When the Pirates play during the 7th inning stretch, do they not have like a pierogi run or whatever?
They do, but you know, the Pirates are a sore subject. Hopefully this year they're going to be a little better.
That's okay. I was a lifelong Cubs fan. At least I did get to go see the World Series in Chicago when they beat the Cleveland Indians. They didn't. Well, I mean, for the World Series, but yeah, that's pretty cool.
So, as a true Pittsburgh Pirate fan, he said, "Next year will be better."
Yeah, let's hope. Skeens is amazing. I was looking. We were setting up. You know, we have our tours, and I'm looking at our tours. I was just sitting at home one Saturday. I wasn't planning on going into the distillery, and I see this Karen Skeens signs up for a tour, and I said, Aaron Skeens, I wonder, you know, it was 3 people, and I thought, is Paul going to come on tour with his mom? And then I'm thinking, is Livy going to show up? What's going on? And so I was like, all right, I better get dressed, get a shower, head into work and see what's going on. It was mom, dad, and sister. They were the nicest people. And since then, they're one of the people that said they've been to Scotland and they've been to tours, and they said our tour was one of the best tours they've ever been on. But I keep saying to mom, please invite Paul anytime he wants to come to the distillery. Please come over. He hasn't come yet. But one of these days we'll get him in there. and wow, we'll wow them and
That'd be
impress
some
them.
good. That'd be some good PR.
Absolutely.
Maybe do a collaboration, with
Oh
Enduro
yeah,
Grill Cook
kind
or
of like
something,
what's the dude with the Traveler whiskey?
That's a country
Yeah,
singer, I
Stapleton.
think. Yeah.
Yeah, Chris
He
Stapleton.
he doesn't even drink, and he does that.
Yeah.
All right, look.
Yeah, I don't
I'm
know
gonna
if that's
end
the
this
best
show.
partner that someone doesn't drink, but
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he sings a song about whiskey, but he doesn't drink. Yeah, why partner up? All right, guys, I'm getting off of here. Hell, I need to go to bed.
Craig's
guys
turned
have a
into a
good night.
pumpkin.
Hey, Will, it's Colonel Craig. Remember that?
Colonel Craig.
I'm sorry, Colonel Craig is turning into Colonel Pumpkin. So
Colonel Pumpkin.
we all got to go to bed and go to work in the morning and all that fun stuff.
we got to do
You
one
know
more
what?
Pennsylvania toast.
If I'm
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. Good night, my friend.
if I'm not going to be Colonel Craig, I'm going to be Colonel Lingus.
No, Colonel Craig is what you're going to be.
Bye, guys.
Is
Thanks,
Colonel
thanks,
Lingus
Peter.
Is Colonel Lingus related to the Handy?
Yeah, something like that.
Good
guys.
night, everybody.
For the stories we've told of barrels and bottles and whiskey gold, from grain to glass, through